Well, here we are. It's the halftime show. I know that, man, I'm just glad we're halfway done with this because I am really tired of this season. I can't even, okay, this episode was a little bit better. I just still could not get into it as a whole. I mean, with Grayon finally gone, maybe it means that, maybe things will improve from here. Better villain, maybe. Better plot progression. I want to be hopeful, but I'm not. Honestly, I'm Mike, and we're here to discuss Kamen Rider Gotchard, episode 27, Gotcha, Crosshopper. And we are introduced to two very specific things. One, we are introduced to a Dread Type 2 and Type 3. And we're introduced to the Platinum mode, which it's all right, I don't hate it. It certainly looks better than the Iron form, but but I just feel so winded by how boring the season is that I just cannot get excited for new forms, no matter how cool they appear. But basically, this is a mid-season finale. And by the way, no screenshots because Facebook changed their terms of service. So yeah, that's the thing. So less plot summary, more discussion. Actually, I will go into the plot, but I'm not going to take too long about it. And in this episode, we continue where we last left off. Grayon got a bunch of cards. He killed Fuga. He's on his way to the Ouroboros dimension to open the gate. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much where we left off. And of course, our main heroes, they take the 10-liner to get over there, and they defeat him. Quick and simple. Now, there are some obstacles in the way, but let's talk about some of the highlights. First highlight, I really liked Type 3. Of Dread. So the way it works is Type 1 has unicorn on the left side. No, on the right side. Type 2 has Dio on the right side. And the Type 3 has both the unicorn and the Dio together. Now, I will say what I really like about this, specifically what I like about Type 3. I don't care for Type 1 and 2 per se, but what I like about Type 3 specifically is if you really pay attention, it does include a secondary. No, actually, no. It includes a chemi from each of the three main characters. So you got Liner from Gotchard, you got Unicorn from Majade, and you got Dio from Valvered. I actually like that idea. It combines all three main characters' chemis into one evil writer. I like that idea. Although, if I could change one thing, if I could change two things, but I can only keep one of those two things. Let's keep it 100. Now, option one, I stand by the fact that Dio and Madwheeler should have been level 5 chemis. Both of them level 5 chemis, because if the idea is that Valvered uses two chemis that are the same level, and that's his gimmick, 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 4s, 2 5s, 2 6s, 2 7s, 2 8s, 2 9s. Let's make it 5 and 5 instead of 6 and 6, because at least his main form would keep to the theme of having a sum of 10 as to transform. because you have 1 and 9 for Gotchard. You got 3 and 7 for Majade. Why not do 5 and 5 to equal 10 for Valvered instead of 6 and 6 to equal 12? I mean, if he had secondary forms, okay, fine. Like that could be 6 and 6, but nope, 5 and 5. No, they're doing 6 and 6 for Dio and Wheeler. That's like the one thing. But the thing is, if I change that one thing, I cannot make the other change. And this other change is consistent with the fact that not Mad Wheeler, Dio is a level 6 Kemi. So here's the thing. I wish that Dread, instead of using an evil version of Steamliner, he would use an evil version of Hopper 1. And here's my reasoning. And check this out. So because he uses Steamliner, he uses Liner Unicorn Dio. What if instead he used Hopper Unicorn Dio? Because Unicorn is 3, Dio is 6. 3 plus 6 equals 9. So if you have a level 1 Kemi as his main form, then you would have 1 plus 3 plus 6, which equals 10. That would have been so great. That would have been such a great idea. Obviously, like it wouldn't work if Dio was level 5, because then that would add up to 8 instead of 9, and then it's like neither Hopper nor Steam is level 2, so it wouldn't work that way, but it would be better than adding up to 18, because 3 plus 6 plus 9. That's like my main thing. But I do like the idea of using one of the 2 cards used by each of the 3 riders for his type 3 form. Hotaro, Rene, and Spanner. I like that idea. Now, okay, so other highlights. So while the 3 riders are trying to fight a good fight, obviously we still have Clotho and Atropos to deal with. And the main issue with dealing with the 2 of them is the only people left in the squad are Renge and Sabimaru, who are not riders, and they should be. They should have been 4 and 6 and 2 and 8. But we do get a scene where it's like, oh, Sabimaru's gonna fight against me. Well, what if I take over his mind again, like I did back in episode 10? Wait, episode 11? 12? But ZQ! I love that ZQ Vampire makes a comeback in this episode in a way where it works with Renge, especially with Renge, because it was sort of a Renge focus episode. It didn't work too well as a Renge focus episode, but at least it existed. So I liked that idea. What's it called? I like the idea of Renge using ZQ, and the fact that both Renge and Sabimaru used them together with the little heart shield thing. That was really fun. It was adorable because they're so cute together. But alas, that goes off on the wayside because we're more focused on the 3 riders. Hotar gets his butt kicked even when he uses Iron Gotchard. So as soon as he's about to get murked, it's like he gets his belt stolen. It's like, yeah, see, I let you use the Gotchard driver so that it becomes more powerful with every Kemi you capture. So now I'm going to paint the world gold. He wants to create let me put it to you like this. Even King Midas would be like, bro, you got a problem. And if Midas thinks you have a problem with gold, actually, you know what? No, both Midas and Smog from The Hobbit both be like, Grayon, you got issues. You got issues. Um, yeah, no, and it just feels painful, like seeing his vision, like a world that's completely made of solid gold. It's just like, how would you even live in a world like that? Even if you were immortal and never needed food, it would still like you'd get bored eventually. Like, what is your goddamn problem? But alas, Mr. Mopey Binato gets a stern talking to by his fellow senpai, and she gives him a good talking to, which allows him to mysteriously show up in time for him to have a sword fight with Grayon to save Hotaro. And it's like, your words, they reach to me. I have face turned. I am him. I have returned. I have arrived. Ore Sanjo. But of course it's like, oh, now we're going on an all out fight, and yeah, like it's okay. It's okay. We got like we got everyone getting involved. We got Spanner and Rene and Renge and Sabimaru unmorphed, all contributing. And by the way, one thing that's really sad is Isaac does get smashed. The tablet with the AI that helps Sabimaru with his social anxiety. Yeah, Isaac gets wrecked. So maybe this could be an opportunity for Sabimaru to go through character growth. But Hotaru tries to make one final plea to all of the chemis, and we have that Joey Wheeler moment where like everyone's reaching out their hands so he can wake up and defeat Odeon by default. Um, yeah, I already made that joke in Ultraman Tiga. I'm doing it here on Kamen Rider Gotchard. And yeah, it's like, oh, all the other chemis were touched. So all 10 level 10 chemis sort of like upgrade Hopper 1 into Crosshopper. I was hoping you'd be called 10 Hopper because one, heavenly, and two, it would go with the theme of 10 liner, 10 Hopper. They're both level 10 chemis. But Crosshopper, that's fine because cross is an X and X is a Roman numeral. That's totally fine. So he gets promoted and allows him to take back the driver and return it to Hotaru. And yeah, basically, Iron Gotchard becomes Platinum Gotchard, which while we did see coming, because we've seen Shining Hopper become Assault Hopper, we've seen Primitive Dragon become Elemental Dragon, we've seen Barad Rex become Volcano Rex, we've seen Mach 2 turn into a Mach Laser, or Mach 3 become Mach 9. Like, honestly, in that particular case, we have two sets of double upgrades. So now Iron Gotchard becomes Platinum Gotchard. I'm not a fan of the whole, oh yeah, no, it's like you get an upgrade form only to upgrade it further 2 episodes later. Not a fan of that. It kind of diminishes that previous upgrade form, as I said before. Like, at least with Primitive Dragon, at least they put a whole subplot around it. So I will put some respect onto Primitive Dragon, because this is the whole Skull Greymon turning into Metal Greymon. That's totally fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But in a lot of the other seasons, I just don't really care for the execution because it makes you lose your appreciation for having the first of the two forms in favor of the latter of the two forms. And let's be honest, moving forward, we're gonna see a lot of Platinum Hopper until he gets his final form. Platinum Gotchard until we get, but we won't see much of Iron Gotchard anymore, which is kind of sad. We will miss you, Iron Gotchard. We will miss you. I do like the design. It's a lot more sleek. It's got a platinum white to it, so the name is appropriate. But I like the even more appropriate aspect of iron is an element, a very famous metal, very versatile. But platinum is a much purer element. It is a stronger metal than iron. I mean, iron is hard, but platinum is more impervious. Which is why whenever you get ranked on things, you got bronze, silver, gold, and then finally platinum. And yes, as a JoJo fan, yes. Stop Rachna! Do. Gotta find all the Kemis and put them in their cards so we can defeat the Hades sisters. We will get that Gotchard by befriending all the Kemis. Gotchard. But no, it's not gonna work that way. There should be more. JoJo should have had some songs that emphasize the whole platinum aspect. I mean, like, we got Crazy Diamond with Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town. We got Fighting Gold, which had gold in its name. Stone Ocean had stone in its name. So, like, why not have a platinum song for Star Platinum? uh but yeah, no, it's a serviceable form. It's very reminiscent of a Ghost Grateful form, because basically he can absorb multiple chemis and use them simultaneously. So one particular example is Sabu Needle with G Wrestler to get like a spiny fist thing. It's okay. It's all right. I mean, I get the gimmick, but it does raise the question of, since we effectively have 100 chemis now, doesn't that mean we only have one more chemi left to find? And when we get that final chemi, guys, it needs to be a level 0 Philosopher's Stone. It's the only thing that makes sense. Make the last chemi essential to his final form, and make it level 0, because 0 times anything is 0. I mean, like, it could be like level infinity, but that would be a real cop out. I like the aesthetic of having a number 0 instead. But if you're gonna put anything on the last card in a season that focuses on alchemy, make it the Philosopher's Stone, the most sought out artifact in all of the history of alchemy. Greek, Roman, British, Chinese, Mesoamerican, African, Judaic. There are so many different cultures that dealt with alchemy, and in every culture, they've wanted something with some semblance to a Philosopher's Stone. It only makes sense that the final card should be a Philosopher's Stone, and in the off chance it's not going to be a Philosopher's Stone, I'm going to get so angry, because it is such an obscene missed opportunity and a disrespect to the history and culture of alchemy. See, like, I don't even need to be a Full Metal Alchemist fan. I don't need to be a Harry Potter fan. I don't even need to be an Indiana Jones fan, because there was an Indiana Jones novel where he looks for the Philosopher's Stone. But someone who has thoroughly studied the history of science, especially the history of chemistry, and by extension the history of alchemy, it is integral to respect that history by acknowledging the existence of the Philosopher's Stone. Even the whole point of alchemy is to turn things into stone. What artifact is famously stereotyped for turning things into gold? Philosopher's Stone. And you know what would be cool about having a Philosopher's Stone? You could change the numbers of your chemis at will. You don't have to sacrifice your own personal alchemic energy. You don't have to sacrifice human lives or energy or spirit or whatever you call it. You don't need to open a dark dimensional door. Maybe you could have yourself become cursed by using it in subsequent uses, but you still should make his final form a Philosopher's Stone. It's the only thing that makes sense. But yeah, he defeats Grayon, and then a giant hand from the opened door just reaches out and just murks Grayon. There's something left of him but his little golden Rubik's Cube. So everyone leaves. Everyone leaves, and we are left with the two of the Hades sisters, like grabbing that cube because we have a darker energy. We have a new plan. And of course, Minato returns to the school, and turns out Lachesis was involved in bringing him to the Ouroboros dimension all along. Seems a little last minute. She didn't even appear throughout the entire episode up until that last scene. Like, you could have at least included her pleading to Minato just a bit. Have both Senpai and Lachesis plead to Minato together. That would have made much more sense. And that's pretty much it for the plot of the episode. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say this one is a 9. I am being a little generous. It's not that the episode was bad that I'm so lachrymose discussing the episode. It's more like I'm just so drained from this entire first half of the season that it's really hard to just want to have energy for this episode, even if this episode is technically better than a lot of the past episodes. We have a form that feels earned, properly earned. Yeah, that's good. We rarely see that. But Grayon's defeated, which means we're starting a new arc next week. But I do have to wonder, why not start that arc? Why not just speed through this a few weeks more quickly, so that it could have started this arc like 2 or 3 weeks ago when, King Oger ended and Boom Boom started. That would have made a little bit more sense to me, but it's Toei. What are you going to do? But I will say this. I'd rather have better pacing than just forcefully synchronize the calendar of 2 different TV shows. It's just, the pacing isn't that good to begin with. I feel like a lot of episodes could have been skipped to get to this point. But, and again, I feel like some characters just needed more development up to this point. And again, why did Lachesis not even show up until the very end of the episode? Gotchard's platinum form looks good. I like that it's platinum as an upgrade to iron. Okay. I like the type 3 thing because you do have liner unicorn Dio motif going. But I just don't care enough for Grayon as a villain to feel like this was an epic victory. It just felt like a run-of-the-mill victory, to be honest. And what else is there to say? Again, I wish Sabimaru Renge had more character development. And again, the weakest thing about this arc was Minato, because he has no reason to become a heel. And even when they try to explain it, his friend died and he blamed himself. I was worried, maybe he performed an alchemy that would have killed him. And he felt guilty about it. But no, Grayon straight up killed him. Why are you even following the guy who killed your best friend? There's no reason for it. So yeah, yeah. As far as the arc as a whole goes, I have to give it a 7 out of 10 because a lot of the characters' backstories felt rushed. A lot of the plot developments felt predictable, and I've seen Kamen Rider do better with this. Let me know what you guys thought. Okay, time to open the door. The thing I like about the mid-season finale, it means that the season is halfway over, and maybe we could get a better season after this season. Yeah, but I wouldn't hold my breath because, for all we know, we might get an even worse season. So let's not count our chickens before they hatch, and let's not stand up and leave before the fat lady sings. So, uh, 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 okay. Clotho's worst fear is hearts. Thanks, ZQ Pyre. Yeah, actually, not now that I think about it, you did just remind me of one of my favorite gags from One Piece, where that little girl from Dressrosa gets freaked out by Usopp's face. That in order to defeat her, he just had to summon a plant that could recreate his face from when she fainted the first time. That was kind of funny. Type 3 already? Yes, Type 3. Didn't you notice the theme of this season? They're just going to pump out new forms. They don't care. They don't give you the time to let you bask into the forms. But yeah, Type 3, if Type 2 showed up a few episodes sooner, I don't think any of us would have an issue with that. But again, Type 3 is my favorite of the three forms just because you got a three main characters chemis. No, not the tablet. He needs. I know, right? Don't just stand there, Minato. Help your students, but how will you get there? Oh, geez, how will he indeed? Uh, Now, I'm just curious what they're going to do with Lachesis in the next round. Uh, his goal is boring to let the whole world, yeah, be drowned in gold. I know, like even freaking Midas and Smog would think this guy has a problem. Sword fighting with anime-based props. Yeah, I did wonder those swords they used did kind of look like the blue roses from Sword Art Online. I really hope that's not the case, and it's just a generic shape used for a sword. But it looked a little too similar to Sword Art Online. I'm sorry. Power of words to overcome anything. Yeah, I think this concept worked better in Saber. Just saying. Heck, I think they even worked better in Revisco's Stamp. You know, there's an I Choose You reference when Hopper One talks. Yeah. Crosshopper to the rescue. Yeah, he's a cutie pie, isn't he? Also, the giant stick is a repaint weapon used by Triceratopon from. Oh, that's a nice thing. What beats gold? Platinum. Absolutely. Again, honestly, gold is not even that great of a metal. It's actually very malleable. It has no utilitarian function. It's just really dense, which means that you can use it for currency and yeah. But as far as function goes, gold is relatively useless. The Hands of El Dorado. You see the end game. See the end game green. Yeah. Yeah. El Dorado, the city of gold in Aztec and Mayan culture. Unison power. Yeah. Yeah. I guess so. Silikisis helped him find a way to Ouroboros from. Yeah. From out of nowhere. It's not over. New chapter with Golden Cube beating like a heart. Yeah. 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 Let's see where that Rubik's Cube takes them. I by the way, I just really like the fact that like someone somewhere finally used a Rubik's Cube as a weapon. That's the one thing, the singular thing I actually liked about Grayon. He has a Rubik's Cube as a functional weapon. And okay, next episode, another Ultraman guest star is coming, and he's gonna juggle our minds. Oh, is it? Okay, let's find out who that Ultraman star is when we get to next week. I find the whole fight mid to me, so it's 7.5 out of me because it felt rushed. It was kind of rushed. You're not wrong, but again, the whole season just felt really rushed. At least when they wrap things up in King Oger, at least it was very. At least there were a lot of like lights on the wall saying, "Hey, there's going to be a part two." This is only the first half. This whole thing with the Bugnarok is only the first half of the story. We're doing a whole Gurren Lagann thing where we first deal with an underground empire and then deal with a cosmic empire. Here it's like they don't do that hinting very well. And I was certainly thinking at least one of the Hades sisters would have been killed by now because they've been failing a lot. Oh, and that's another issue I have with the season so far. They're very inconsistent with the power scaling between the main characters and the Hades sisters, because in some episodes the Hades sisters seem so overwhelmingly powerful that the main characters can't do anything about it. But in other episodes, they feel like run-of-the-mill villains that you could fight completely unmorphed. And then they keep switching back and forth between that. I just wish they would just stay consistent. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the episode. If you enjoyed watching me talk about this mid-season and this episode, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, ding the bell icon to stay notified for our latest videos. And please be sure to share the video to your friends, family, coworkers, whoever else may be interested, because that really helps us out with the algorithms. We do Ultraman Tiga on Mondays, Kamen Rider Gotchard on Wednesdays, Bakuaki Sentai Boom Boomger on Thursdays, and Kamen Rider Kiva on Sundays. Also, please be sure to check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we do movie reviews, video game news. And this Saturday, we are covering the Naked Gun 2.5 Smell of Fear in honor of the 30th anniversary of the third film, which we're going to discuss the following week. We already did Naked Gun from the files of Police Squad, so if you haven't seen that yet, sure check that out. If you want to check out my personal content, you could find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto. With all that said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay hydrated, update emergency kits, hug your loved ones, and have a great day. Goodbye.